Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel, Tabby Loves, the channel where I, Tabby, talk to you about the things that I love. Today we're going to be talking about 2026, my goals for 2026, some things I'm hoping to accomplish, and all of that fun stuff. So if that interests you, go ahead and stay, grab a drink, grab a snack, and let's talk about how great I'm hoping this year's going to be. I want to start this video out by talking about my four main goals of this year as a whole. And number one being I'm hoping to find a new job. There's lots of reasons. I'm not going to get into them because it's honestly not important. Just the general goal is I hope to find some other form of income in 2026, a way that I can support the bills I have to pay better, I can support my own personal lifestyle and what I want it to be better, and just overall, I know that there is more for me out there than what I'm doing right now. And I'm ready to go after it full force with my whole chest. So that's number one. Number two, and this is more health related kind of, but I want to consistently work out this entire year. And I know that's a pretty common one, but I started working out middle of the year last year, and it felt so good. And it put me in a much better place, just mentally, physically, all of that. So I want to stay consistent with that this year. And on top of that, I'm going to be doing this program. I don't know if you've seen ads for it or not. It's called Weapon Up. And it's basically it combines, I think it was yoga, tai chi, and swordsmanship, and they send you a sword and everything, and it's gonna be so cool. I'll definitely be filming parts of that too as the years go on, or not the years, as the year goes on, and you'll see more of that. Number three is I want to continue on with a personal curriculum this whole year, and the personal curriculum thing I'm going to get into in detail here in a second, but it does directly correspond to my goal number four. And my goal number four is I want to get a decent amount of editing done on my book. I think my book that I'm writing is going to need quite a few rounds of edits, but I'm hoping to do a minimum of one edit fully this year, but I'm hoping to do more than one. My most ambitious goal would be to have my book ready to start querying by the end of 2026. But we'll see. We'll see what comes up as I'm editing. We'll see how fast the editing process goes. Yeah. So now that we have those four basic goals set up, let's get a little bit more niche, a little bit more specific, and let's go into my reading goals. My reading goals specifically are set into three kind of almost categories. The first one is just my Goodreads, general reading goal, the number of books I want to read this year. And for 2025, it was set at 100. So I didn't meet the book count. I didn't get to 100. I got close though. I got to 91, I think it was, when the Goodreads Wrapped came out. So I was 9 books short, which makes me think that I could definitely do it this year. There was definitely a few reading slumps, especially near the end of the year last year. So I definitely think that it's doable, especially with the amount of series that I want to finish up that I had started. Because I think when I was looking at, I think it was my Spotify, or no, my, oh my god, what's it called? My Story Graph, that's what it's called. I'm sorry, I blinked on what the app was called. My Story Graph wrap up, I think, said I started 50 series this year. I'm definitely not going to finish all of them. There's a good amount of series that I think I started that I have no intention of finishing, which is fine, But I actually do plan on trying to complete a good amount of these series, and I'm going to be, I don't know if it's cheating. It's not cheating. I'm going to be doing them as often as I can as audiobooks through the library, because I work a job where I can listen to audiobooks often. And even though, again, I am looking for a new one, the jobs I'm looking for will also give me time to listen to audiobooks. So I believe that I can make a good headway. One of those series I want to finish, and this is really ambitious because there's so many books in the series, is the From Blood and Ash series. And now from Blood and Ash, I originally gave 5 stars. But I reread the first book with the intention of reading the whole series. I actually didn't like the first book as much as I remember liking it the first time. So we're gonna have to see. I am almost done with the second book via audiobook. And audiobook does help with some of the problems I had with the series as a whole. But we'll see. You know, like, there are, 6 books in the original series, plus there's, spin-offs. So, well, if it goes down a route I don't necessarily like, I'm not going to force myself to finish. But anyway, another books that are on that series list is Once Upon a Broken Heart, that trilogy. I read the first book, I think it was actually a couple years ago now, but I want to finish that series out. And I also want to continue Legendborn too, which I started this year. I'm really excited to continue that one. I think the story in that one is great. And then besides that, my second kind of area goal thing for my reading goals is I want to focus on reading my physical books more. I have an entire shelf that is full of my physical TBR, and I have been reading so much on Kindle this past year that it's just been neglected. So I'm focused majorly on reading that shelf. And I'm going to be using the TBR wheel. I'm not going to pull it up for you guys now for this, but I'm going to use the wheel to choose my reads just to keep it fun and keep it kind of randomized a little bit. And my kind of rule I set for myself is if I land on a series and I own all the books in that series, I have to finish that series. Because I'm not going to start more series that I'm gonna take forever to finish. You know, it's gonna be so disjointed if I have to land on each individual book. So for example, I have Brandon Sanderson's Mistborn series sitting on there, and I am if I land on Mistborn, I will read the other 2 books that I own in that series as well. Just an example, and I'll just finish out the trilogy. So yeah, and I already have my first read for January picked out from that kind of method, and that is Dragon Fruit, which I'm already really enjoying this book. I'm nearly halfway, so that makes me excited for the 2026 reading year. And then finally, and this last one is kind of like a year-long, more series I want to do more so than a reading goal, but that is I'm going to be doing it's going to be called Exploring Smut, where I am going to be reading one book that's basically a PWP. And if you don't know what a PWP is, look it up. But those who know. Anyway, I'm going to be picking a PWP, and I'm going to be reading it. And my goal is to do, to film reactions to me reading it and putting it together and posting it here on YouTube. So, and then I'm going to be posting a review and just talking about it on my TikTok as well. So those 2 combined, I'm hoping it's going to be a fun little thing I could do. This month in January, I'm going to be doing Ice Planet Barbarians. It's a really popular one that I've heard mixed things about, but mostly good things. So I think this is a great start. But if you have any recommendations, feel free to leave them in the comments, and I'll definitely check them out. But yeah, anyway, now that I have reading taken care of, let's get into the personal curriculum stuff. Okay, so personal curriculum for 2026. There's going to be one class that's going to range this entire year, but each quarter is going to be broken down a little bit differently. So I'm starting out broad, and then I'm going to focus on niches. So it's going to start out with, I have assigned myself that I'm going to be reading 1 poem, 1 short story, and 1 Substack article a day. And at the end of each week, I will pick my favorite and I will write something on Substack about it. Whether that be, analyzing a poem, analyzing themes of a short story, talking about the way a poem, a short story, or an article made me feel, etc., etc. But I'll be thinking deeper about one piece in particular from that week. And then on top of that, I also plan to read 1 chapter from, which one of these books is it? Well, found it. Okay. I'm planning on reading 1 chapter from Intuitive Editing a week as well. So theoretically, I will be diving into editing books while I'm also exploring a wide range of different writings and ways to write and different, like, I want to say themes, but my themes are kind of limited because of the books I have here to choose from for like short stories and poems and stuff, which I'll get into in just a second. I'm excited about my range here. But anyway, I also plan to be editing my book at the same time, and I want to kind of incorporate what I'm learning from reading all these different authors and studying storycraft into my own writing as I'm editing. So that's kind of like the rough goal. And so at the end of the month, what we'll be do is 4 chapters of my book completed, and theoretically 4 Substack articles too. And so basically after this first quarter, which ends in April, or at the end of April really, then after that I'm going to be focusing on poems, and I'm going to deep dive poems and poetry and writing poetry. I'll probably be doing a few poems myself on the side. Those might even be published on Substack. We'll see when I'm putting up the second quarter's like syllabus and stuff. I'll see if I like assign poems to myself, or if I'm going to continue doing the analyzing a poem for my Substack article. We'll see. But it just goes along with my goal that I want to post on Substack more, specifically to gain a writing audience. So we'll see. But and I have quite a few fun things here for poems, because and these 2 are probably going to be the first like books of poem I study for this first quarter, and then I'll get into this other book I have here in my poetry focused quarter. But I've got Milk and Honey, and also The Sun and Her Flowers by the same author. I already own these poetry books, so I think, and I have also already read these poetry books, so I figured why not already use these as for my 1 poem a day sort of thing, and really focus on intentionality with this. And then on top of that, I bought this recently, and that is The Best Poems of the English Language, and it has just a bunch of classic poems in here. I think it will be challenging in some ways, because some of these are definitely going to be in Old English, but I think it's also important to explore what, what's popular, but what's renowned literary-wise. And then on top of that, I also have Don't Read Poetry, a book about how to read poems, so I can really focus on analyzing the things I want to analyze and really getting all I can out of this poem section. And then as for the short stories, I have Great Ghost Stories, which is an anthology that I think has 101 ghost stories in it, as well as I have H.P. Lovecraft's short story collection. So between these 2, I have a bunch of short stories. I'm kind of hoping I can get Edgar Allan Poe collection of both his poems and short stories too to add to both of these. But we'll see. That will depend on my finances and how things go. But quarter 3, if you haven't guessed, is going to be focused on short stories. And then finally, quarter 4, the last quarter of the year, I'm going to be taking a different classic every single month and then focusing on breaking it down and analyzing that. I might even annotate the books, because I do want them to be classic books that I own. So I might as well annotate them and really, really deep dive into them. And I was thinking about doing, I also bought this book recently because I loved this book as a kid, and I would love to explore it again as an adult. And it's short, which helps, but that is The Secret Garden. This is probably contender number 1 for a possible deep dive at the end of the year. But we'll see, because I definitely want it to be some classics, because I know that there's going to be like way easier to deep dive, because there's going to be videos of people deep diving it that I can explore and all of that. But yeah, that's class number 1. It's definitely a really involved class. I'm definitely going to be focusing on a lot this upcoming year when it comes to reading and writing. But I have a secondary class for this quarter that's only going to stay in this quarter, and that's actually more related to my witchcraft and my occult practice. And I'm going to be deep diving into dragon magic, which is channeling, and I don't know if communicating sounds crazy, but I'm going to be focusing on just dragon magic and communicating with dragons and all of that from the witchcraft spiritual lens. I have quite a few sources that I've gathered, and I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun thing to explore. It's something I've been called to lately, and I'm going to pursue it. If it ends up being nothing, it ends up being nothing, But yeah, that is what my personal curriculum goals look like. And let's go into my final goal, my health and exercise related one. This will be like a real quick just rundown on what I'm hoping to do. Like I mentioned earlier, I do plan on staying consistent with working out. That's like my main goal of the year. And like I said, it's because I started working out this year, and so I really want to keep pursuing it. And like I also said, I got this the weapon up thing, and I'm really excited to dive into swordsmanship and kind of include this onto my normal exercise practice. So basically, what my goal is going to be kind of looking like is I'm going to be continuing my normal exercise, which usually includes, I'm hoping for 3 days a week, and then 1 day a week being yoga. And then altogether, that would be, for example, a full body workout 1 day, and then my swordsmanship stuff at the end. And then the next time I work out, it would be upper body, like probably arms and core, and then the swordsmanship at the end. And then the next day, legs and glutes and lower body, and then the sword. And then the yoga thing would be on its own, probably plus the sword at the end too, since the swordsmanship class is kind of focused on like yoga mixed with like tai chi and like fluidity and balance and all of that. I think it's the perfect kind of counterbalance to the normal workouts I'm going to be doing with like dumbbells and weights and just getting stronger in general. Like the health kind of side of this is definitely leaning towards main female character energy, because I, like a lot of people I think, have been inspired by reading all these strong female characters that like, I want to be like that. I want to be able to fight and defend myself. I want to be strong. I want to be worthy of a dragon, you know? And I think this is just really going to be more for confidence than anything, and just kind of being a cool person. Not gonna lie. I used to be into archery when I was in middle school, and I used to have a bow and arrows, and I had them up until my first year of college when they were lost in a car that got totaled. So I kind of want to buy a new archery set and get back into archery as well, just to like add that on top of this exercises I'm going to be doing and this swordsmanship I'm going to be learning. It's going to go round me out, you know, as a female main character. I just think it's going to be fun. And then the other two kind of other health aspects I'm going to be focusing on is I kind of want to pay a little bit more attention to what I'm eating and how much calories are going in. I've never calorie counted before, but I downloaded an app that should technically make it easier. We'll see. It does use AI, and I'm always weary of AI, but I think it could be useful. And then, like in this case, it could at least provide me with a baseline, how many calories I'm supposed to be eating, if my nutrition levels are good, if I'm eating enough vegetables, all of that basic stuff. I just need a little bit of help, I think, sometimes. And then finally, for like mental health wise, I have really wanted to get into journaling too, and I've been debating whether I want to do both a journal and like a yearly planner or just the journal. But I just think it'll be fun to again write, even though I'm going to be doing a bunch of writing this year, but it'd be fun to write just for myself too, like focus on reflection, focus on what I want this year to be and what my days look like, maybe even do a commonplace kind of journal. I just think that there's fun like personal things that can come out of this, and again, I think it'll be good for my mental health, on top of the fact that I also want to meditate more too. I feel like I can probably combine the two a little bit. I think it'll be great. But yeah, that's it. That's what I hope for my 2026. I think if I stay consistent with these goals, I am going to get a lot out of this year. I have a lot of hope for what this year is going to look like. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, leave a like, share, add this to some playlist or another. I don't know. I hope you all have made goals for 2026, and I hope you all stick with them. It's gonna be a fun year of growth. Like that's what my word of this year is growth. I have a vision board here that I made, and then I also have a bingo square, which The bingo thing was inspired by Demystify Magic. They make bingo boards for their year, and then they review them at the end of the year and see what they got on it. It's kind of a fun way to kind of manifest while also being like lighthearted about it. Like, your goal is not to complete the entire board, you know? It's okay if you don't get some things on the board, which gives you permission to dream big, put some big stuff on there, and hope for the best. Like, I think I have on mine, you'll see it here, but I kind of want to, like, I'm hoping for a new job this year, and part of me kind of hopes that I could be a content creator. But I also know that I am very far from being able to make any sort of money off of my content. So we're taking this nice and slow, you know. Anyway, I thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I love you. Goodbye.